All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. You guys, this has been such a just an awesome week with the guests that we've had lined up. We had Methodical Joe this week. Last night we had Venus Monique from the show Vindication, which I really enjoyed. That was a great interview. If you guys haven't seen that interview yet, definitely go check that out. On top of that, we opened up the Crossman Production merchandise store. So definitely check that out at crossmanproductions.com. We have a line of T-shirts that we have coming out, these beanies, all kinds of stuff that's that we're bringing out this week and what we already have on stock. So definitely check that out. And then remember, subscribe, like, comment, share. Hit that notification bell so that you guys know what we have coming up. So, with all that out of the way, I have a guest that I've been waiting for quite a while to get on the show. This guy's just an awesome person and just a talented actor. So, this was a friend of Tony Taylor, as you guys know. I have Tony on here all the time. Love Tony to death, man. He's a great guy. Both him and Sean Kane are like, hey, you've got to get Bishop Stevens on your show. You've got to get him on. So, so we got it. We finally reached out to him. We got him to come on the show. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. My brother.
There is nothing worse than making a big black man blush. There's nothing worse than that. A big old black dude sitting over here blushing. Look at me. I'm just looking. Kind of cute, though. It's kind of cute, but yeah. How's it going, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much, man, for being on the show today, man.
Oh no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So yeah, like I said, I've been looking forward to this, man. I talk to Tony all the time.
Yeah, Tony's a good dude. Sean's a good dude. I mean, I enjoy working with those guys, and I'm looking forward to the stuff that we got coming up. So,
all right, cool. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. So definitely, yeah. But yeah, Tony was like, "You've got to get Bishop in." The first time I interviewed Tony, the first time like a year ago.
Okay.
And he was like, "You got to get Bishop in." So.
A year ago, he was saying this a year ago.
A year ago, man. So we finally got you here, man.
There you go.
I'm really excited about having you on, and all the stuff that you've been doing. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's let my we're gonna get my audience to get to know you a little bit. And kind of share your journey. And some things that you've been through, and then we're going to talk about your projects, some of the stuff you've been in, and I know you got a lot of stuff coming up,
right?
So we're going to talk about that. So we'll kick it off. So the first thing I always ask everybody is kind of introduce yourself and kind of tell everybody kind of where you were born and raised and what was life like for Bishop Stevens growing up.
Ooh, wow. What's up, everybody? My name is Bishop Stevens, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a former WCW, WWE pro wrestler. I'm one of the few guys who actually had the opportunity to be signed with both companies. I was trained by Handsome Harley Race. I was brought into the wrestling business by my uncle, some of you know as the Junkyard Dog, Sylvester Ritter. And basically, I went from wrestling to owning a fitness company, and somehow I just got into the movie business, and it was purely by accident, but I don't regret it. I do not regret it. As far as my growing up in childhood, whoa, man. Okay, let me, I definitely was not what you see now. Okay, I definitely was not. I was honestly the kid that got stuffed in a locker when I was a kid. I literally I was a nerd. A lot of people ask me like where Bishop comes from, because I was a small, skinny black kid who could play chess.
Wow.
Who played chess. And so I got, I was a bit of a nerd. And, when I meet people and I tell them I'm a nerd, when I tell them I'm a DC, big DC Marvel fan, when I tell them I'm a big anime fan,
Right.
when I tell them that, when I tell them, I definitely would rather sit at home and watch television instead of, being out in the streets, it shocks a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, I love my fans, things like that, but I'm the kind of person I go to Walmart late at night, so I don't run into people.
It's hard to believe, man. So you're like the skinny kid, the kid that people did people really bully you back when you were young?
Oh yeah, oh man. When I was 10th and 11th grade, I was probably 105 pounds soaking wet.
Wow.
In fact, the only thing that really stopped people from bullying me was the football coach saw me running from some kids, okay?
Right.
And he approached me the next day and told me I was getting on the track team.
Wow.
He put me on the track team.
Wow.
And that's when all that stopped. And that's when I really kind of got into working out and, stuff like that. And, it just kept going from there, and it just snowballed from there. After that, one of my first jobs out of high school was at, a Bally's Fitness Center, and I just kept working out and just, got heavily into fitness. And that's where I came from now.
Right.
Yeah. But before that, yeah, man, I was, didn't go to no prom, didn't go to no school, none of that.
Wow. That's hard to believe, man.
Yeah. Wow. Well, something all has to motivate us somewhere.
Right.
And that was my motivation. But it's real funny when I run into those guys now.
Yeah, exactly. I bet, yeah. They see you now, they're like, hey.
I hope you don't remember none of that.
Right? Man, that's funny.
But it's cool because, like I said, if it wasn't, a lot of people have to, I know a lot of people get real frustrated. If you're watching this and you're a young man or a woman and you're having a hard time in school or with people, just remember, your time will come.
Right.
You look at the Bill Gates, you look at all the people who, you can look at them now and tell they were nerds in school, but look at them now. They run the world. So just remember, don't let it get to you. That's only a couple of years of your life. But after that, those same people are going to come to you for jobs.
Yep, that's true. And the thing that that people don't realize, especially the youth nowadays, because they see everything as such a big deal. But what you're going through right now is just temporary. It's temporary.
Right.
It's just the first phase of your life. Once you get out of school, I mean, you got a whole the whole world changes once you get out of school.
Right.
So let me ask you this. So when you were in there, so you started getting into sports. The coach brought you in, got you on track. You started getting into sports. Was that, and then that kind of led you to the direction of working out and so was that kind of started becoming your passion before acting is getting into athletics? And did you have a plan in high school of what you wanted to do with that when you got out?
Not at all.
No.
You know what? We just were saying to these kids now, my plan was I just wanted to get out.
Yeah.
My plan in high school is I just wanted to get out. And like I said, it wasn't until, 11th grade.
Right.
When, like I said, the football coach saw me running.
Right.
Came to me and said, I want you on the track team this year. So 11th grade and 12th grade, I ran track. And that pretty much, that helped.
Right.
I didn't run track because I wanted to run track.
Right.
I ran track because it made everybody leave you alone. We all, like I said, we all have our, you couldn't be on the chess club or the debate club or any of those clubs, and the sports guys are they leave you alone. But if you were one of them, not only did they leave you alone, but they protected you.
Right.
Now, I'm not telling, everybody out there now that, you got to go find some way to get on that. But that's what worked for me.
Right.
And it also got me working out. It also got me, in the gym at the school. And it got me the summertime. Like I said, I started going to, valleys to work out. And,
Right.
like I said, when I did get out of school, I got so deep. I was enjoying working out so much
Right.
that I just stayed. To be honest, wrestling came about. Like I said, we went to a family reunion and my cousins and everybody was they like to jump on him and play with him.
Right.
And I was big. I started getting big, so I just started grabbing people,
Right.
grabbing the kids off of him. And he said, "Nephew, I got something for you."
Wow.
And then, like I said, Harley. I started doing some wrestling, some local wrestling, and he introduced me to Harley Race, and Harley took me in and took me and a lot of other guys under his wing. He started his own company, an NWA company, WLW World Legion Wrestling,
Right.
and it's just history from there. I got signed with Power Pro Wrestling down in Memphis, which at the time was a WWE training center.
Right.
From there, I got hooked up with Jim Cornette, and he took me over to OVW, another WW. So I was at 2 WWE training centers at the same time.
Wow.
But because we would drive from Memphis over to Ohio Valley.
Right.
But then I get a phone call from Terry Taylor, who is now running talent for WCW.
Okay.
And he was like, "Are you contracted with?" He said, "I know what you're doing. Are you contracted?" And I was like, "Well, no, not really. My paperwork is with Power Pro."
Right.
And next thing you know, I'm in Atlanta, with WCW under a full contract.
Wow.
Okay. And then, as if you follow pro wrestling, then Vince McMahon buys WCW.
Right.
Which now again, I'm back under contract.
Oh, wow.
So now again, I'm back under contract with the WWF, which was making the transition to the WWE.
Right.
I get injured. I got hurt in Nashville, Tennessee, and that ruined my wrestling career. So I had like everybody, you have your stumbling blocks.
Right.
But the one thing that I've learned is you don't lose until you quit.
Exactly.
You haven't lost until you quit. You don't fail until you quit.
Right.
So I actually opened up, I took my money, I opened up a couple of fitness centers, and we did a workout DVD.
Okay.
I actually put together a workout DVD that was based on pro wrestling workouts.
Oh, wow.
So everybody thinks that pro wrestlers are in the gym, power lifting 500 pounds and blah, 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 blah. Man, if we did that, we wouldn't be able to wrestle the next night or that night.
Right.
Okay. We'd have more torn muscles and, that's why you don't see bodybuilders and bodybuilders and power lifters be pro wrestlers, because they'd be injured too much. They'd be tired too much. They wouldn't have the athleticism.
Right.
So I did this workout DVD, and we were doing late night infomercials.
Wow.
I get a call. So somebody has seen the infomercial at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And they gave me a call, and they was like, "How would you feel about being in a movie?" And I was like, "Dude, don't screw with me," And I actually hung up on him. I actually hung up on the guy, and then he called back like a day or two later.
Right.
And we talked for a minute, and I went on ahead and said, "Okay, you're paying my expenses to come up there. It was fun. It'd be something to be fun." And I did that. The movie itself never got made, but we did do a trailer. Okay. And through that trailer, I got hooked up with some people who knew some other people
Right.
And before you know it, I was down in Chicago doing what turned out to be a very popular television show called Empire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So next thing I know, I'm signed on as the head security guard on Empire.
Oh, wow.
And so I went from Empire to Chicago PD to The Walking Dead, Sirens, things like that, and all that. That's how my acting career just started. Everybody kept saying that you need a big, tough-looking, bald-headed black guy.
Right.
Bishop.
Right.
A lot of times I didn't even need to audition. It was just, you need what? This guy.
Right.
Facial expressions, wrestling background, can do his own stunts, everything. And it just snowballed.
And you just have that look, too. You just have that look.
Well, thank
you. And then on top of it.
Oh, wait. I don't know if that's a compliment now.
No, it's a compliment. I'm saying like an action star. You know what I mean? You just have that look that if you walk
in. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. But way to fix it up. Way to clean it up. Okay, thank you.
So, when you think about it, I mean, you have action figures now. You know.
I do. I do. We actually have 3 of them. We actually have 3 action figures of characters that I've done. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I can definitely say it. So let me ask you a question. So, like, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Especially going back to to the days with, back when Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, your Uncle Junkyard Dog. I loved all those wrestlers back then. What was that like? Having Junkyard Dog as your uncle.
Well, I mean, it was cool. Whenever they came to town, it was really cool because you get to go, you get to be backstage a little bit. I mean, there was nothing at the time. You're just flabbergasted by all these larger than life characters.
Right.
I mean, Andre the Giant walked by you and says hi and puts his hand on your head, and he's saying hi, kid, but his hand is just from here to here.
Right.
And and you just really, I mean, like I said, these guys were larger than life to us.
Right.
And even when you grow up, these guys are still larger than life. I mean, right. And then when I got to go to Memphis, when I got into business, I got to go down to Memphis. I'm actually wrestling these same guys. Right. I'm actually wrestling, Greg the Hammer Valentine. I'm actually wrestling, what's his name? Tony. I've wrestled Tony Atlas, Butch Reed. I've wrestled it's just too many to just go through.
Right.
But it was amazing. Let me just put it that way. It was really amazing, and yeah, I kind of miss those days a little bit. I like when I'm done working, I come home, I don't have to spend 3 days in a bathtub in a hot tub of water and then go back out. I do, I like that. I don't miss that. You there? I think you froze. You there? You're froze. Hello? I think you're frozen. Am I frozen? One of us frozen? Hello? I'm moving. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm frozen. Frozen. Well, if there's anybody watching this, hey, he froze. So now, welcome to the Bishop Stevens podcast. Well, what we're going to talk about today is my upcoming film. Oh, I don't think there's anybody in here, but. Oh boy. I'm logging back in. Okay. Maybe by where are the action figures? They're in the bag. Ouch. What does happen with a podcast if it? I don't see you. I don't see you. Do I need to? I guess I need to go out. There you go.
It's so frustrating, man, when the internet just like.
I know. Wait, let me ask you this. What happens when you lose signal, but my and it's saying I'm still in the studio?
No, you're still live. It's still going for you.
So people were able to see whatever I was saying and doing?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Man.
Well then,
talk about this all the time. With the pandemic, they've made it easier for people to, like do live stream and stuff, but there's still those kinks that you still have to work out. You know what I mean?
Right.
The technology is still new, but it's
that kind of sucks. Now I got to remember, what did I just say? What was I just doing? I was about to get the action figures, but I was like, oh shit, they're still in the bag. So I might have said a few 4-letter words, and I don't know. I really do not know what I just was saying.
So
some people might have some blackmail material now. What? Okay, all righty. Let's not have that happen again. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully we're good.
Okay.
But so we were talking about you being you having your uncle as a junker drugs, the people you got to meet during that time, and then when you started wrestling yourself.
Mm-hmm. You better not. I see you blinking. I see your eyes blinking. So you better. Don't even try.
Well, I mean, you were just talking about the people that you wrestled and you know, so anyways, so we're
The one man gang. That's what I was trying to. One of my favorite
yeah,
matches was with the one man gang. Sorry about that. That just popped in my head. That's all I was looking for.
so yeah, so let me ask you this. So was there a specific time when you were wrestling that you were like, man, I can't believe I'm here wrestling this person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. In WCW,
Hmm.
because we had a couple. I had a number of dark matches and stuff in the WWF and WWE, but in
Right.
WCW, I actually had my first television match, and they came and they said, "Okay, you're wrestling." Let's see, uh, that '70s guy, Mike Awesome,
Hmm.
and I had met Mike when I used to run around with Viscera with King Mabel, so I used to
Right.
run around with him, and I had met Mike when ECW was still open.
Right.
So they came in and said, "You're wrestling Mike Awesome, that '70s guy." Blah. They told me what we're gonna do, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, because I always thought Mike was one of the best, but yet underrated wrestlers there
Hmm.
was. 300 plus pounds, 6'5", could
Wow.
move like a lightweight. I mean, he had everything,
Right.
And when they put him in when he went to the WWE, WWF, I mean, I was, but yeah. So in WCW, my first television match was with Mike Awesome. And I came to that curtain and I was just like, I can't believe this. I
Right.
did the tongue thing and everything, and the crowd popped, and he did his over the rope thing on me. I did mine on him, and the crowd popped. It's like 20,000 people there, and I'm sitting there going, because I had been backstage with Hogan them before, as I grew up, been backstage with them before, but now I'm through the curtain. Now I'm coming through the curtain.
Right.
Now I'm coming through the curtain in my gear.
Right.
So that just made everything just different.
Man. The other thing that you talked about too is when you end up being injured, people don't realize all the training and everything that goes that goes along with training to wrestle wrestle in a match. I was just watching Undertaker's documentary and
Yeah.
he went through.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing that guy's still alive. With the stuff that he went through.
Him and Mick Foley. I mean, it's amazing. Some of these guys, it's amazing. It's amazing some of them can walk.
Right.
So yeah. And then that's where, and I think people don't seem to understand when you say to a pro wrestler or even an amateur, an indie wrestler, whatever else,
right.
Don't say wrestling is fake, because it's not.
Right.
It's scripted. There's a difference.
Right.
Did you hear what I said? We just had a play. Some people say wrestling is fake. Don't say it's fake, because you know what? That's offensive.
Right.
It's not fake. It's scripted.
Right.
There's a big difference. Gravity is never fake.
Right.
Okay? Accidents happen.
Right.
Concrete is concrete. A steel chair is a steel chair. Okay? We get hurt. I mean, I have had 2 hip implants. 2 full hip implants because of my wrestling background. Don't tell me it's fake.
Right.
Okay. Like I said, it's amazing how many, people lose teeth and broken necks and arms and stuff like that. I got a cut right across here from a ladder match.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure somebody's gonna sit there and say, well, accidents happen in anything. No, yeah, but you know what? Athletic accidents happen daily.
Right.
Okay. It's like going to the gym, putting too much weight on that bar, or your spotter's not paying attention and that bar drops on your chest. Or, you're going to go home with some pain. You're going to go home with some sore. Like I said, we be on the road 4 days a week, man. I mean, 4 days a week, you come home for 3 days and you got to go back out. By the time you start feeling better, by the time ibuprofen and stuff like that start making you feel better, you're on your way back out.
Right.
you know.
Right.
So don't people need to learn. A lot of people are watching these documentaries and stuff, and I'm hoping they're opening people's eyes.
Right.
That and I will say this, no offense to a football player, no offense to a basketball player, no offense to anybody in sports, but
Right.
pro wrestlers are the best athletes in the world.
Wow.
We go out there 4 days a week.
Right.
All the other sports, they work once a week.
Right.
We go out there, we don't have that downtime.
Right.
We don't wrestle, we don't get paid.
Right.
Even in the big leagues, you don't wrestle, you don't get paid. You sitting home, you don't get paid. All right. You know, a basketball player, football player, all those guys, they get hurt, they can sit at home for 6 months, still collect a fat check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have to get out there. You feel you have to get out there. And that's even on the days that we train.
Right.
We go to the gym and train hard, get a good pump, whatever else, and then we got to be out there coming through that curtain that night, that Thursday night, that Friday night, that Saturday night, that Monday night.
Right.
And then fly home on a cramped plane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so signing autographs, smiling at people, trying to keep that vibrant, you know,
right.
fanfare, you know, while you're, and then you get out to your car, you go, oh, God,
right.
that hurt. Oh,
you bring up a good point. You know, in basketball or football, I mean, you have your star players. You know what I mean? You know, like your LeBron James, your Steph Curry. You have your star players that people come to see. You know, on a team, but you know, sometimes that star player can sit down, and people are okay because they're there for the entire team. In wrestling, every person in wrestling is a star.
Yeah.
And there's people that, you know, that's coming to wrestling to see you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you feel, I know, I see you guys feel obligated to be out there, even if you're injured. You know what I mean? Because you're doing it for your fans. You know that, hey, people came here because they knew I was going to wrestle in this match. You know, so that seems like a lot of pressure too.
And believe, and it starts with independent wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. It starts with indie wrestlers. You know, people come and indie wrestlers, most of them, they go out and they sell tickets for the wrestling events. You know, for their local wrestling events. They are selling these tickets and these people are coming for them. So if they're in a car accident, if they're hurt themselves at the gym, if they are having a bad time, something happened at home with their girlfriends or their wives or something, you know what? They are still expected to be at that show that Saturday night. Right. And they still want to be at that show that Saturday night. That may be their only peace of mind. Right. You know, that, I mean, so that may be that may be their bright spot in their week. I know guys that they might have lost their job that week or been laid off. Right. But come Friday night, Saturday night, they're at that show and they're just amped up and ready to go. Man. You know, so yeah. I tell anybody, do not undercut pro wrestlers and talk about the stuff that just because it's scripted, it's fake. Right. You know, if you think it's, you know, the last thing I'm gonna say about it, if you truly believe it's so fake, go in your kitchen, stand up on your kitchen table, put your hands out to the side, and fall backwards on the floor. Wow. I don't care if you got carpet. Fall backwards on that solid floor that ain't gonna move. And that gives you an idea what it's like when a guy comes flying 12 feet through the air, and lands on that concrete floor. Or I pick somebody up. I'm 6'1". I pick a 200 and some pound guy up and slam him on a concrete floor. Right. You know, or have you ever seen the rings? Oh, the ring is this, but it's also wood. Right. The ring may have a spring up under it for bounce, but it's also wood and metal. Right. You hit that wood and metal long before that spring does anything. Right. So, you know, that's really all I'm gonna say before I'm gonna stop we're gonna stop the wrestling talk because again, you know, people always say that, but like I said, you know, I was 30 some years old, man. I had to get my first hip implant.
Right.
So don't talk that stuff to me, you know. So yeah, but that's it.
You know, like you said, you know, if you think it's fake, go back and look at some of these documentaries, you know, and see all the things that these guys have gone through. I mean, you know, it's just amazing. So let me just ask you this: so moving from wrestling and going into acting,
Mm-hmm.
how was that? Um, I mean, I know there's a huge adjustment. You know what I mean? But you're still performing in front of a crowd, but it's a different way. You know what I
Right.
mean? Did you feel more pressure in doing acting than wrestling, or what was that like for you?
Actually, no, I didn't feel more pressure. I actually felt more comfortable because I didn't have to be like you said, you know, people who know me will tell
Right,
you some of the roles I play. It's hard to believe it because if you know me, they'll say he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
right, and I hear that all the time about you.
Yeah, they'll think, you know, but I play some very bad guys.
Right,
I play some very tough looking and bad guys. Um, so, but again, it comes from the wrestling background because you know I was already doing that. You know,
right,
even my baby face character, the Atomic Dog,
mhm,
and Ali, both my baby face characters were what were tweeners. We
right,
were good guys to the fans, but we were coming to that ring to bust you up.
right,
Okay. I mean, either way it go, you know. So if you were a fan, I was shaking hands, kissing babies, all that kind of stuff. But
right,
whoever was across from that ring, when I got up in that ring, I got up in that ring with the intention of hurting you.
right,
So like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you ever meet Steve, he is
mhm,
definitely not what you think he is,
right,
you know. But you really don't want to piss him off.
right,
You know, that's one thing I will say about Steve. You really don't want to tick him off.
right,
You know, then so it's kind of like you get to be yourself. You know, you get a version. You got the two versions of yourself.
right,
So with acting, a lot of the characters I play, I'm just flipping that wrestler switch.
right,
That once I walk up in that ring, that Ali switch kicks on.
right,
You know, so no, it really wasn't that. It really wasn't a big switch. In fact, most people that I've worked with when I first got started, like I
mhm,
said, because I was doing what is called featured extra,
right,
so featured role. And what that means in the movie business is you are hired to play a specific type of extra.
right,
You're not the extra that walks across the thing.
right,
You are a specific person. You're an FBI agent. You're a gang member. You know, you're somebody close to the main character, but you're his backup or something like that.
right,
So really, you know, like I said, it really wasn't that big a transition. And at the time, so many wrestlers had jumped into movies and
right,
television. You know, almost half the WCW squad had been
mhm,
on Charmed or Hogan and Savage had that show. And I mean, you know, let me shoot. Like I said, half the WCW had been on television or movies.
right,
And then you had all these other WWE people started jumping over. So like right now, everybody's just looking for the next rock.
right, right,
That's it. Everybody's looking for the next rock. Everybody's looking for that charisma, that look, that build, but less cost, but
right,
less cost without spending so much money. So
right,
that's what everybody's looking for now. You know, you got your Randy Orton, you got shoot, yeah, most of those guys are doing movies now.
right. So you got Cena, you got
Yep,
Batista.
yep,
Big Show was, you know, he had his own television show for a little bit.
yep,
Uh,
yep.
and I mean, yeah, a lot of them are jumping over. So, and it's good to see them too. It's good to see them move from wrestling
Right.
um, and have a second act in life. You know, going
Mm-hmm.
acting, you still get to see them. And then, you know, like you said, a lot of them you got a lot of talent too.
Right.
Uh, and so seeing them, you know, transition is awesome. So let me ask you this: once you transferred over, I'm gonna ask you the same question, about like from acting and wrestling. Is did you find like a particular role, playing a particular role, and you're like, you know what, I really like doing this acting gig. You know what I mean? Now I'm starting to find a passion, and this is something that I really want to continue to pursue.
No, no. The way it went down was, like I said, I was on Empire for the first 2 seasons.
Right.
And in between that, I got, like I said, on Chicago PD. Like I said, I did the 2-day thing on The Walking Dead. A couple of day thing on The Walking Dead, and
Right.
I went back to Empire for the 2nd season, and Terrence Howard pays attention to a lot of stuff when he works.
Right.
He wants to know everything that works and everything that doesn't work.
Right.
Okay. So we're having lunch, and he comes up to me. He said, "Hey, big man, come here, let me holler at you." And he said, "You know what, man?" He said, "The next time we work together, I want to see you across from me,
Right.
not behind me." He said, "Because I've been watching your facial." He said, most of the security guys were standing there like this.
Right.
But he would notice that when something would happen, I would react. But that came from my wrestling background.
Right.
That you react, it just became second nature.
Right.
A lot of guys would sit there and maybe tilt their head or whatever else, but he was noticing, like when he would yell at Cookie or throw a shoe or something, that I jump, and he was like, I don't know what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know who he spoke to or whatever, but I got my first speaking role. It was just yes, ma'am, yes, sir, okay, blah, 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 stuff like that. It was just yes and no's and okay, stuff like that on Empire.
Right.
And it was out the blue. They were like, okay, you're talking to the head of security, you say yes, sir. So Taraji walks up and says, "Excuse me," you say, "Yes, ma'am." You don't just sit there and shake your head. You say something just like you would in real life.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it just like I said, it just went from and I left the show.
Wow.
They called me the next week. They were like, "Okay, we're gonna put you on blah 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 blah." I said, "No, I'm going into something else." And I started contacting independent movie makers.
Right.
I got into independent movies where I could actually, act.
Right.
And like I said, I was still pretty much tied in a certain type of look and role.
Right.
Which was fine. So to answer your question, I can't say that yet because mostly I'm still kind of being the same person that I was in wrestling.
Right.
So and I mean, I enjoy it because I basically get to be me.
Right.
And no, I'm not telling your fans anything that I'm a mean bastard of a guy.
Right. Right.
I'm not, but like I said, it's just it's just cool that like that. We did a movie Bloodthirst, and I got to work opposite Costas Mandalore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been if you've seen a movie with any of the Mandalore brothers, that they do some cool stuff.
Right.
So I'm smoking a cigar, I'm talking to him, and I'm doing my hands like, why should I help? And I'm doing these motions with my hands, and the director comes up, and it was funny. Then when I didn't do them, the director was like, whoa, why are you not doing the? And I'm like, oh, he goes, no, go back, do that, do what you just did, because it's real.
Right.
When Bloodthirst comes out, you see me doing a thing with a cigar thing, and I'm like, I'm smoking a cigar, and I'm like, but the way you would if you were, a gangster talks to people.
Right.
Compared to just taking the thing out of my mouth and holding it down and saying my lines. But like I said, those are things you picked up, in with my wrestling background.
Right.
He froze again.
And you talk about you kind of play the same character, through all these different movies because it relate to your wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular role that you would love to do.
Yes.
What is that role?
Okay, so most people watch television and movies and they want to be a superhero.
Right.
Most people want to be a superhero, stuff like that. My dream movie role is
Right.
G.I. Joe.
I can see that.
I want to be a G.I. Joe.
You know what?
That's my
think you
thing.
would be perfect as Roadblock.
That's
Roadblock.
it.
You're perfect. You have to look for it.
That is it. I mean, well, they're Roadblock, Hard to Watch. Look at me. I'm showing my nerdiness. I'm gonna start naming off. I'm showing my nerdiness. To be honest, there are about 5 G.I. Joes who are African American.
Right.
And Marlon Wayans has played one. The
Right.
Rock has played Roadblock. You know, The Rock. Who else? That English black actor who's so cool. He's played one.
Right.
There's a couple of them, you know, and it's like, yeah, I want to be. I'm trying to get myself up. We're actually working on. One of the things that we're working on this year is my lead role,
right,
abilities,
right,
and showing that I can actually. I mean, I've done supportive roles, but you know, I got 3 movies coming out this year. Where I'm a heavy supported role, stuff like that. Like I just said, Bloodthirst, things like that.
right.
But we are pushing now lead actor roles,
right,
to show that. But yeah, my dream gig is to play a G.I. Joe main character. And like I said, it could be any one of them, just as long as he's a badass.
But I mean, like for Roadblock, I mean, I know that Rock's played him or whatever, but you look. I mean, we used to have the action figures, and I remember the Roadblock action figure. Dude, throw some bullets around your chest.
Yep.
The best.
Give me the big gun. Yep.
Yep.
Somebody actually drew a thing of me as Roadblock before, but my head, it was so cool. So
right?
yeah.
I can definitely see you playing Roadblock. Definitely. And then that's another action figure too. So
yeah, definitely.
So
well, the one Marlon Wayans played, I could I would love that one too. I forget the name, but yeah, the one Marlon Wayans played, with him and was it Chip? What's that guy's name?
Tatum.
But yeah, with him and Tatum were the same one. Yeah, I would be a great bigger version of that character. That character was tough too.
Right.
That character was pretty bad too. Remember, he kept placing second behind Storm Shadow. What's his name? I don't know why I'm having brain farts today, but anyway, you know what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, I would love that as well.
So and the thing is too, with the remakes of movies, they can create a whole new character.
Oh yeah.
For G.I. Joe.
Well, I mean, we all know there are thousands and thousands of G.I. Joes.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there are literally, tons and tons of G.I. Joes. So, like I said, they're actually going to be putting together some new movies.
Right.
It's about that time. So if you give, if they do put one together and then you give it another 4 or 5 years, hopefully I'll be in that spot to, to do something,
Right.
All you people can start sending messages and letting Paramount and all of them know, hey, G.I. Joe, look at this guy. You guys can start doing that for me.
Right. We'll start a petition. And listen, Paramount.
There you go. Listen up. Hey, this is who you need, a younger version. There you go. A younger, newer version.
So I think that'd be great too. Yeah. I was a big G.I. Joe fan growing up too. So you take the whole WWE, the G.I. Joe, completely. I guess I was a nerd too growing up because I was into all that stuff too.
Well, I mean, who didn't have a bunch of little green G.I. Joes all over their room,
right?
Shooting at on this side, shooting at each other, and then you go click.
Right. What's funny about it is like I would go spend the summer at my grandmother's house, and mow her lawn for the summer, the entire summer, just to get a G.I. Joe action figure at the end of it.
Yeah.
And then you get your GI Joe action figure. You're like, okay, look, there's twice or three times a year you're going to get one. Your birthday, Christmas, and if the summer, if I go mow my grandmother's yard.
Man, you need to fix your signal. you run a podcast. You need to just get off the Wi-Fi and just plug in to a hardcore in for your show. I'm sitting there going, I don't know who's looking, but I'm sitting there going, as if you're answering accents, as if talking to me. But you don't block. Anyway, yeah, I remember, like I said, when I was young. Do you remember that when we used to take a rubber band and put it between your fingers and put a piece of paper on it?
Right.
And so I would set up my green GI Joe Army Man.
Right.
And I would be Duke, Roadblock, and a couple of others. And I would say to start. That's what I would do. And remember GI Joe with the Kung Fu grip?
Oh yeah, they had. The only thing I hated about the original GI Joe action figures is they had that rubber band in the middle, and then every time that rubber band would break, you tried to put a real rubber band in, and it was never the same.
Just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Yeah.
So and then finally they started making without the rubber band.
Right.
Like when you're playing with the GI Joe, there's nothing worse than that rubber band breaking in the
nothing. There was nothing worse than that. You just wanted to cry.
Right?
You just wanted to cry, man. I was like, shoot. you just okay. We might have to edit this part out. I know we're live, but you might have to edit this part out for the, Okay, on to something else. On to what's coming now.
So let me ask you this. So you've done a lot through your career. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned thus far?
The biggest lesson I've learned, I will pass along to other people, is don't, and I've said this before on other podcasts, so you may hear it a few times, don't get in this business if you don't have a good support system. It's hard.
Right.
And because I get people all the time, why don't you come out? Even a lot of my friends were out and come out to LA, come out to LA. No, man, no. My support system, my lock-in system is right here.
Right.
And if you don't have a good support system, you'll go broke. Your car will fall apart.
Right.
And you'll quit before you might be right there on that edge, but you'll be ready to quit. You'll mess around and quit.
Right.
And I'm not telling anybody to quit on their dreams. I'm telling you to set up your support system first.
Right. Before
you start trying to do all that kind of stuff. I've gone through 3 cars, 3 vehicles.
Right.
Like I said, it's hard because if I went out to LA, I would be one of big muscular ball, and I wouldn't even be muscular out in LA. I'd be out of shape. I'd just be a big guy. Okay. Atlanta, same thing. A whole bunch of former football players go right down to Tyler. They go right down to Tyler Perry Studios and try to get on.
Right.
So me, myself, at this point in time, I'm playing it smart. I got an LA talent manager.
Right.
I have 3 talent agents. And the whole thing is when I go out there, I'm going to go out there because they called me out there.
Right.
I've gone out there. I've done a couple of films. I'm getting my name out there. But when they're ready to put me on, then you go.
Right.
If you go before, you're trying to get through that door. Why try to get through a door when you can wait till the door has been opened for you?
Right.
And there's enough stuff going on in the Midwest right now that I don't have to.
Right.
And I'm opening enough doors with video auditions and things like that I don't have to. But yeah, I see so many people, they pack up their cars, they sell everything, and they run out to LA or Atlanta, and then before you know it, they're coming back.
Right.
And they got to start all over. So I'm not telling you not to follow your dream. Follow your dream, but be smart about this dream.
Right.
Because I've seen people mess up their marriages, their relationships, lose their home, go out somewhere. You done sold your home, go out somewhere, a one bedroom studio apartment out in LA would cost you what your mortgage is for a 1,600 square foot home,
Right.
or a 3-4 bedroom home here in Missouri.
Right.
So think about it. By the time you're ready to come back home, you done ran through all your money.
Right.
So now you got to come back. And what have you done? And the first thing, what have you, as you're trying to get a job, what have you done for the last 2-3 years?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I mean, if I ever decided to get back into the working world, then I could point at, well, what have you done for the last 5-10 years? Oh, all this, all this right here, oh, okay,
Right.
but yeah, you want to be able to have, like I said, have your support system. And that's one of the things that I've learned. Like, honestly, I could go out to LA, right? I have producers and agents and people and actors who are friends who could put me on, but
Right.
that's not the way I want to go.
Right.
Cool.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about those posters behind you. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you've already done,
Okay.
some of the things that's out there that people can watch. And then we'll talk about some of the new stuff that you're working on.
Okay. Well, let's see. If you have Netflix, I don't know if it's still on, you'd have to check, but Girl on the Third Floor with CM Punk.
Okay.
I did Girl on the Third Floor with CM Punk, and I'm in that, and it was on Netflix for about a year now. I don't know if it still is, but if it's not, you can still look at it. Matter of fact, what's kind of cool is I always get people that they go on their smart TVs.
Right.
And on smart TVs, you can type in search.
Right. And
if you do a search on Bishop Stevens, all these movies pop up that I'm in that are on streaming services somewhere.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, I'm on. I don't know how many things that are on Amazon. I mean, there's about a half a dozen on Amazon.
Wow.
But also there are The Revealer is a Shudder original, okay. And so if you like horror, if you're a horror buff, and you have Shudder Network, which is like the Netflix of horror movies.
Okay.
So we were like one of the top 3 movies on Shudder for a long time. I think we probably moved down to like number 6, but we were like one of the top 3 for a long time. On Hulu and all that, I mean, My Days of Mercy with Ellen Page and Kate Mara. Mom and Dad with Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
And Selma Blair. Jesus. My mother told me one time that when you can't keep all your stuff straight, that's a good thing. So, right. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think there's probably like 6 or 7 films.
Okay, cool.
On streaming services that you can check out, including The Horrific Evil Monsters, and there's one, a Chase Dudley. I gotta get that. Now I gotta get that poster. Payday. It's called Payday. It's a Chase Dudley film called Payday, which I believe is on. I think Payday's on like 3 or 4. I know it's on Amazon. It might be. I know it's on a couple of other things as well. Right. Cool. I did a movie called Lockdown, which is on several streaming services, right. with Michael Paré and Bai Ling. So Lockdown, because it was on video on demand for a while.
Right.
It might still be on there actually. See, I don't look. I try. I don't look. I do not look. Once I see it, then I don't look. I'm one of those people when it comes to because I critique myself too much.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. There's like I said, if you go on streaming service, type in Bishop Stevens, or Google Bishop Stevens, and it'll tell you. Like, if you Google me, that's now that one I kind of get a kick out of. Because if you Google me, there's a whole line of films. I'll be, oh yeah, I was in that.
Right.
I did do that. Did I do that?
Right.
Did I do that? So yeah, and we're definitely trying to get Sean Kane's the thing that he's putting together now We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, Tony and I talked about that a little bit, about the new film he's doing.
Yeah, the new project, right? Yeah. I got to call it a project because I'm not sure what it is. I do not know what Sean is, because he's selling tickets to it like it's a wrestling event.
Wow.
Like it's a wrestling type event.
Right.
But yet the script for it and everything is a movie.
Right.
But it's a movie about wrestling events.
Right.
With real fans coming to wrestling events.
Which is smart when you think about it. When you think
about it, I just don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to go down.
Right. I did a something similar to that. I used to do public access. So we did a show where we had a real band, and then we had like a script. We had a script for that band, like that. We had, so it was like a TV show,
right.
about the band growing up and them becoming famous or whatever. But we also had real concerts for them.
Okay.
So fans that came to the concerts were technically get to be in the show because we were filming the concerts as well to go with the show. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
There's about a band coming up. So I think it's kind of what he's doing with this wrestling thing. He's talking about wrestling. It's in a wrestling event. So the people actually coming in actually gets to be in the movie because they get to be part of the, of the whole time, is the project. It's what I think he's going in, the way you talk about it. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Tony was talking about that last week when we were talking. So what else do you have coming up? What new projects do you have?
Oh, wow. I've been really blessed because for the last 3 years, I've had at least 2 or 3 movies drop every year for the last 3 years. And this year, Bloodthirst, Lionsgate picked it up, so Bloodthirst should be released around right before. We're thinking by the end of summer, going into fall. Bloodthirst, Trick and Treats. I'm one of the lead characters in Trick and Treats with Malcolm McDowell and Gary Busey.
Wow.
That's finished up. That's pretty much finished up now, and it's about that's going to be a good one. By Roarcade Studios, and then we got Final Summer, which has been, oh my God, Final Summer is just going crazy. The reviews on it, it's a throwback slasher film. Yeah, and I mean they're already talking about a part 2.
Wow.
Right now there's a lot going on about where Final Summer is going. Right. If you go on amctheaters.com and you type in Final Summer in the search, it has it listed for October the 1st. Okay. So, but then there's rumors about it going straight to video on demand, the VOD on your Spectrum or so. Again, we really don't know where it's going. I think they know. I think John Eisberg, I think they know, but I don't think they're letting it out the bag yet. Right. So I'm expecting. So I figure it must be something pretty big. I figure whatever's about to happen with it must be pretty big because the what was it? Michael Myers, Jason, those slasher type movies, they're kind of been falling to the wayside.
Right.
So this is all the way to the camps. That starting at a camp. Starting at a camp. So it's getting a ton of great press and reviews. So something big is about that. Matter of fact, it just showed in LA this weekend. This weekend it's showing in LA.
Cool. So let me ask you this, Bishop. So if somebody wanted to watch one of your films, what's the one film that you would say that if they wanted to see you act, this, you have to watch this one film?
Wait for what's coming. Wait for the 3 that are coming out this year.
Okay.
Wait for the ones that are coming out now, because remember when I said that my yearly goals have been to build up.
Right.
So the 3 that are coming out this year, I don't have, they're not small roles.
Right.
So a lot of, so like I said, one of my goals one year was to work opposite a star, like, just just like I was told when I was on Empire.
Right. Right.
I want to see you across from me. So that was one of my goals, and that happened a lot in these, before COVID.
Right.
So I was able to make that goal happen. So to be a main supporting character.
Right.
But other than that, a lot of films you're kind of on that. You're kind of on that. 2 or 3 minutes on the film.
Right.
That type of stuff. You gotta crawl before you can walk, and I'm not ashamed of it, because those are the ones that open doors for me with producers and directors and stuff like that. So when these other films come out and say, yeah, he could be a lead actor.
Right.
He can hold his own with Costas Mandylor. He can hold his own with Tara Reid. He can hold his own with Robert Lasordo. He can hold his own with Michael Pare. He can hold his own with anybody you put him in there.
Right.
He held his own with.
Right.
So yeah, you want to if somebody's looking to actually see stuff, give it a minute. Now, if you just want to see something now, check out Payday. Check out Payday, Chase Dudley's Payday, or check out The Heroic Evil Monsters. That was a fun one. The Heroic Evil Monsters, because I got to be the tough guy, but I also got to show my comedic side.
Right.
So yeah, so in Payday and Heroic Evil Monsters, I am one of the lead characters in both of those films. So they do show that, what I can do. Right. So check those out. But the only reason why I say wait is because the ones that are coming out are me opposite these name actors.
Right.
In Payday and Heroic Evil Monsters, I think I'm probably the biggest name in the films. But like I said, for me, it's look at me across from a Costas Mandylor, or across or from a Tom Matthews. Across from I wasn't across from Malcolm McDowell or Gary Busey, but my character was in this, the whole thing throughout, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So definitely. So what we'll do is we're going to put in the detail section some links so they can see some of the films that you've already done. Definitely want to check out the new stuff. It's about to come out. We definitely want to check that out. So if somebody wanted to follow your career on social media, what's the best way for them to do that?
Oh, I mean, I'm on Facebook at Bishops411. Right. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Bishops411.
Okay.
I mean, so Bishop's information is, so it's pretty. We also have bishopstevens.com.
Okay.
So yeah. And right now, we're putting together a film, a one of a kind, first of its kind, never been done.
Mm-hmm.
Film. It probably won't be out till 2024, the fall of 2024. Hopefully before, like Halloween. Right. But it's a first of its kind, never been done. Believe it or not, when I say that, people go, "What?" Yes, there's a movie type that has never been done before.
Wow.
It is the first African American serial killer full feature film.
Wow.
There's never been there's been full feature films about serial killers. They've done great. You got how Netflix's Dahmer went. You got stuff. You got stuff about Ted Bundy, all the type of movies and stuff like that. But there's never been one about an African American serial killer. Wow. And the weird thing about it is, African American serial killers are 36 to 40% of the serial killers in America.
Wow. But
yet there's never been a full movie about one.
It's crazy that it's never been done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And before your fans and everybody jump in and say, well, no, wait a minute. Morgan Freeman did, Along Came a Spy. No. Right. That was a fictional character.
Right.
That's in a book. That was based on a book.
Right.
But there's never been a full feature biopic film about a real life serial killer.
Wow.
And we are doing the first one about Derek Todd Lee out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who between 1992 And 2004, they got him for 7 murders,
Right.
but it's estimated he actually did about 14
Wow.
in that amount, and possibly more. We're doing a film in Decatur and Champaign, Illinois, and we are presently in pre-production.
Right.
I played Derek Todd Lee. He's a very charismatic. He's between 5'10" and 6 foot tall. He's a big guy, 210, 220.
Right.
So yeah, we kind of fit charismatic. He's very charismatic. He reminds you, this character guy will remind you, don't open a door just for a nice smile.
Right.
You know, so we're in the middle of getting all that together now. And hey, for all your fans out there following this,
right,
we are looking for period style electronics.
Okay.
So we got cell phones and stuff like that. We're looking now for those. Remember computers back then? Remember the monitors, those big stick out the back,
right,
white monitors and the big. So if anybody has some of those, contact us and let us know. You can actually go on Facebook to the Baton Rouge serial killer Derek Todd Lee biopic.
Okay.
On Facebook. Send us a message and let us know. If you have any of those, like in your basement, so, you know, most people get those things, they just toss the old ones downstairs.
Right.
You know, if you got them, you know, let us know. Or if you worked at a school or someplace that might still have them down in the storeroom, let us know.
And you know, you shared a link sometime this week about that, and I think I posted it on my Facebook as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So that way, anybody who has those kind of items, that they would like to give to you guys, definitely go check that out too.
Oh yeah. Oh well, no, but that's all we need now. We actually found. We actually got our cell phones. We have our office phones now. Most of the computers and the phones and things like that, they're mostly for the task force.
Okay.
For the task force of that, I mean, clothes and things like that. We can go through a thrift store.
Right.
I mean, we're literally only talking about 15 to 20 years ago. We're not talking about that long, 20 years ago. We're not talking about this. This guy was relevant just a few years ago. In our time, that's just a few years ago.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah. So it's crazy. So it's going to be the first, and we've already got studio backing and things like that. With Heroic Age Studios, the people that did the Trick and Treats movie.
Right.
So we're working with them again. We have several other very well known named producers and stuff coming on board. So. Cool. Yeah, this is good. This is a Netflix, Hulu dream, right here, what we're doing right now.
So you guys got to pick it up. Netflix, Hulu,
tell them, get in touch.
Yeah,
get in touch.
I'm actually looking forward to it. This sounds like it's going to be a really awesome project.
Oh, well, because what's really cool about it, so it's a biopic. It's not a documentary. Let me make that clear to people. I mean, I know true crime fans. The world is full of true crime fans.
Right.
And they will it's a biopic. It's not a documentary. There's a lot of Hollywood mix and match in there. But we wrote it with a serial killer historian, E.J. Hammond. Okay. She actually is a co-writer of the Ted Bundy Memories of a Beast. Wow. So she co-wrote a Ted Bundy book that's out now, and so I think Ted Bundy Memories of the Beast. So myself went through the stories and everything about, and we wrote the Hollywood stuff, and then she wrote the factual parts, of the. So like I said, it's a biopic. It's not a documentary, so it's not meant to be 100%. So it's a lot of gore and. The way he killed people was pretty, the guy was pretty, he was a pretty bad, he was very charming and fairly nice looking. Right. But he turned out, he was pretty much a monster. And he didn't care who you was. He didn't care what race you was. He didn't care how old you were. Wow. Black, white, young college students all the way up to a 60-some-year-old woman.
Wow.
Trailer park female, college student female, ritzy business owner.
Wow.
I mean, so he didn't care. Once he fixated on you, that was it. He didn't care anything about, and he just did not like women. He just had a thing about women.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah. So it was, yeah.
Project, yeah. That sounds like a great project. I really want to see that one too.
Yeah, go check it out. Put a link to the Facebook page, and then go check out the video that we got up, the concept.
Cool.
You know, it's like a 30-second concept video in there.
Awesome.
And the thing about the concept video is we didn't get all deep into what we did. We just put scenes of how he killed people.
Right.
His killing. So we just made it real quick, you know.
So we're definitely gonna put that in the detail section of the interview, so people can check that out as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So cool, man. Well, thank you, man. Thank you so much, brother, for being on, man. It's been a blast, man. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
I've been waiting a year for this, dude.
Well, hopefully I didn't disappoint, but hopefully I didn't disappoint. But man, your video connection, your internet connection.
Yeah, I definitely.
You need to just hardwire on into the wall. You need to go back old school, just hardwire to the wall.
You're right about that. It's probably a lot safer than what this connection's got now. So, man, with all this technology, you would think that, they would fix something like that. But
well, hey, you know what they say. If everything was perfect, then what would we do?
Right?
Nothing. We wouldn't do
I
nothing.
appreciate you holding things down while I have to reboot my computer. So
look, let me tell you. I don't know if we got anybody watching because I don't know if anybody's watching live or whatever.
Right.
But when you edit this together, you be sure you take all that out because I might have said some. I might have said something about this damn connection. There you go again. There you go.
Now I got to go back to see what you said. Hey, so Tony Taylor and James Stokes both jumped on, and
okay,
so they're all saying hi to you. So
what's up, fella? Yeah, I'm not seeing that normally. I'm not seeing that off to the side or nothing.
On my side it shows who kind of dropped in and who's making some comments. So yeah.
What's up, home skillets? What's up, home skillets?
So you got Tony, James. You're talking about Voorhees.
James Stokes.
Yeah, James Stokes.
Oh yeah, James. That's my homie right there. That's my homie right there. Yeah, have you had him on the show?
Oh, absolutely. I have a special project I'm actually working with him on.
Cool.
Him and Olivia Disney. I don't know if you know who Olivia is.
I know the name. I don't know her, but I know the name.
So I'm working with both of them on something that we have coming up pretty soon. But yeah, I love James.
James is actually in the Baton Rouge, the Louisiana, the Baton Rouge serial killer. He's actually in it.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually in it, and his role is it's his character. I was talking to him the other day, and I was telling him basically the way we wrote his role. Right. He is going to show, the Jason thing that he does is really cool.
Right.
But in my opinion, it doesn't show his range of acting.
Right.
Because you're playing basically a robotic killer.
Right.
Jason. You're playing Jason. Okay. Right. But this one, he's gonna have a lot. I would not, I'm gonna be honest. My character may be the lead character, but there's certain characters I would not want to play in this movie.
Right.
And his character is one of them because his character comes on scene.
Mm-hmm.
He's of the task force. His character is the first person on the scene of the task. Remember, so his character he determines whether or not it does have anything to do with the task force killer.
Right.
So he walks in and sees everything before anybody else does.
Wow.
And he has to make the call. Is this one of ours, or is this just some stuff that happened?
Right.
So yeah, his character, his character is pretty, So, you know,
I'm really stoked for this movie, man.
oh yeah, oh yeah. We actually got his character from some of the friends of mine who are first responders
Right.
and what they go through when they come on scene and they see stuff, you know. So that's really how his character was written off of real first responders that I know. So yeah, it's some of them people. I mean, they go home and most of us in this movie when we're done, we are going to have to decompress.
Wow.
You know, I know I will. You know, I figure a couple of them others will too. So
wow.
Yeah.
Man. It sounds like it's gonna be a great project. I definitely.
It is.
So, all right, cool, man. So yeah, definitely we're gonna put all the information in the detail section on the interview, so people could go check it out. And man, again, thank you, brother, so much, man.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you.
So yeah, we gotta do it again, man. Once the
you know what? As soon as we get started film, I actually will be you know, for people who don't know, I don't do interviews.
Right.
Okay, I want to make so people who are watching this, you know, I have a thing about interviews, and it's nothing against podcasters. I'm one of them people. I don't want to talk about stuff till I have something to talk about.
Right.
So it's not, you know, now I got 3 movies about to drop again.
Right.
It wasn't nothing to talk about during COVID, other than the fact that I was in the house. You know, the movies that were being dropped during COVID, they were filmed long before COVID. You know, so they wasn't really nothing to talk about. But you know, the ones that are coming out now, and you know, the one that we're doing, you know, the serial killer movie. You know, I just like to have something to talk about.
Right.
So it's nothing against anybody, you know. So yeah, but when we're filming, after we're done filming, I'm gonna have a lot to talk about.
We're gonna have you back on. One of the things we're gonna do is I want to do a movie review on the series.
Okay.
So we'll definitely do that. We'll watch it and then come back and do a movie review on it. That'd be a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome. That sounds great. All right, brother. Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me. I had a good time. And to everybody who was leaving messages, it wasn't popping up on my thing. That's why I wasn't responding. So, you know, it's not that I don't love you, but I gotta go. Peace out.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for joining us. And remember, until the
and he froze again. And he froze while I was saying goodbye.
Oh. What? Do you see me?
I see you now.
Okay. All right. I'm going to end it before I lose connection again. So you guys remember, you guys are uniquely designed with a purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace.
Peace.